A lot of times I find some interesting poses and natural body language expressions for my characters through something I love to do, which is scribbling. I call it scribbling because oftentimes I don't know where the lines are going to take me. It's more of an exploration process, if anything. This is where drawing from life and observing really comes into play because even though these poses are just coming out of my head, I'm calling upon things I've observed from real life. I found that this is a good way to warm up before working on a drawing with a lot of different characters and people in it. I can draw some pretty standard poses as well as poses that are a bit more organic and natural. So, whether your goal is to draw superheroes or more realistic comics, I think warming up with a variety of poses is probably a good idea. Here, I drew two characters dead on, standing straight, no real life or expression to them, and I wanted to show how sometimes even the most subtle movements can really change what the character is expressing. Making big dynamic drawings is a lot of fun, but I also think that there's a place for subtlety as well. Sometimes these little gestures can really help place a character within a story and have the reader identify with what they might be feeling. Depending on what you want your character to be expressing through their body language, pay attention to certain key areas like the placement of their head and in which direction it might be tilted. Where are their hands? Are their shoulders slouched or crunched up high? What side is their weight leaning on mainly? All of these little things can take an otherwise boring and stiff pose to something more expressive and relatable. Sometimes, starting with a boring pose like I did can kind of help you build on top of it. So, if you're drawing traditionally, you can do an exercise like this using tracing paper, revising and changing the character's pose with every new sheet. Or, if you're working digitally, have fun with lowering the opacity and creating new layers to make something new and fresh every time.